Welcome to the Mindset Architect podcast, where it's all about creating the life you want, the business you want, and making a real difference. Join us in unlocking the code to true success. And now your host, Tony Caliendo, Master Coach with reTHINK Coaching.
Welcome to the Mindset Architect podcast, episode number 70. I'm Tony Caliendo, Master Coach here at reTHINK Coaching. And as always, I want to thank you for joining me today. Time's our greatest asset, and the fact that you're willing to share your time with me truly does mean a great deal. Today, I want to talk about the impact of what's happening in our business world right now could be having on you. This episode should drop somewhere close to New Year's, and I think the timing of it is perfect to have this conversation. Regardless if you're listening to it New Year's or any time after that, it is always important to understand the impact that our simple thoughts can have on our overall success. Most of us are prepared and are launching into a new year on our business calendar. And although if you're a one-on-one client of mine, we've been working on 2025 for about 60 days. However, we're actually in 2025 here in the next few days. And we're going to be doing different things. Most likely, we're implementing new strategies. We're enhancing the strategies that we've done in the past. We're tracking results based upon what we believe our business plan or our forecast is going to generate for us. So we're starting to look at some numbers and the results from different activity or different commitments that we've made to ourselves and our business. And what I want to make sure that we don't do is be unrealistic in the expectation of when the results will arrive. I think because we live in such an instant gratification world, that our expectations are that when we do something, we get immediate results. And this is why most of us started 60 days ago working on this, because we know it's not instant. We've been so conditioned, though, to believe that things are instant gratification, to believe that things happen in the moment, that when they don't, it can really mess with your mindset. And so just some examples of how we've been conditioned. I mean, my gosh, Amazon Prime. In some cities, when I lived in Austin, Texas, I could order and have it at my doorstep in 2 hours. I want to watch a movie, instant, download it on Amazon. I can do so many things. I can send a text, a DM. I can have instant access to people and instant response, that I think we get a little misguided that our business activities are going to get those instant results as well. And this is where we can run into a bit of an issue with what is going on with our thoughts if we don't pay attention to it. I'll be really honest. I am that instant gratification guy. I just kind of like to do things and get it done. That's just how I operate. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it, I implement, and I move forward. And I don't always get the result immediately that I thought I was going to get. And it can start to enter your mind in the format of negative thoughts or thoughts that are not supporting you towards your goal. Like, what was I thinking? This isn't working. My whole plan is going to blow up because this isn't working right now. Those are some of the thoughts that could be happening as we venture into new activities. It's a very normal thing to happen. And if you do not address it and correct it, it can be the one thing that sabotages your success. And I say this all the time, thoughts drive all results. And it is more important now than ever to truly, truly understand how the thought flow model that we coach to and that we talk about so frequently in these podcasts, that you truly understand how this can impact your business. A lot of us in situations, I know I'm guilty of this as well. When I'm not getting the result that I thought I would get, I tend to just tell myself, well, just do more, just do more, just do more. And I push myself to do more to get the result. And sometimes it works. Most of the time, it doesn't. And the reason it doesn't work is not because of the strategy I have in place. It's because of the energy and the thought that I have behind it. And if I don't correct that energetically, or just how I think it's going to work, is actually going to sabotage the result. And so it's a combination of doing more and getting your thoughts in alignment. So this might be a podcast that you're going to have to listen to a couple of times. It might be one that you want to take some notes. If you email me, I will send you a PDF copy of this model and how we use it. And you can have it in front of you to really, really understand it. But I want to go through this thought flow model because it is the one thing that has changed the trajectory of my life and my business that I was introduced to back in 2011 that has been a true game changer. And without it, I can guarantee you my level of success wouldn't be what it is today. So I want to share it with you. It's been packaged in different ways, and this is the way that I choose to use the model and that we use the model at reTHINK Coaching. And it flows in this manner. Something happens or a circumstance creates and produces a thought, which generates a feeling, which impacts actions that we take or we don't take, which creates the results that we get or don't get. And so it's really important to understand that that is the flow of the model. Something happens, a thought is triggered, a feeling is generated, actions are taken or not taken, and then results are a combination of the things beforehand, the thoughts, the feelings, the actions. It is always in that order. And as we venture into doing new things, if you're implementing a new strategy or you're attempting to do something a little different than you did the previous year to get a bigger result or a different result, and it doesn't work, this is where, again, the negative thoughts can come in, which will impact your results because thoughts create feelings, impact actions, generate results. That's how it works. If you're not getting the result that you want, a lot of time, most of the time, it's because of a thought or a feeling that's impacting the actions that you take or don't take. And it's really important to understand that. That's why I said a lot of us want to just do more and think that that is the only path to getting the result that we want. Yet if we do more with a really crummy thought or really crummy energy or feelings around what the task that we're going to do, it is going to show up and it's going to impact whether we take action or not. It's going to impact our results. I promise you, it is. It's really difficult to have a negative thought, negative feeling, emotion, or energy, and to take action and get the result that you're after because your energy precedes you in every single thing that you do in life, whether it's a phone call, a face-to-face, a text message that you're sending, it doesn't matter. That will precede you. Now, yes, taking action is incredibly important. And it's a big part. We can't just create a new thought and expect to get different results. You've got to take action. And I do not want that to fall through the cracks today. It does require action. To get results, we got to take action. And we can't just think our way to success, but it's a big part of it because thoughts generate feelings, energy, or emotion, which are going to impact your actions. So it's always in this order. So as we move in, if you find yourself having some negative thoughts, I want you to stop and address those immediately. Because if you don't, let's just run this example. I'm doing more lead generation with my database. And the expectation is, right, that action is expected to create referrals and more business. So I've created a new strategy in my business to do more with my database. And I do it for a week and I don't get the results that I thought I was going to get. Let's just say that's the circumstance. That's the situation. That's the something that happened. Our brain goes to work quickly to create a story or a thought to be able to process what's happening. And that thought might be, maybe this isn't the right strategy. Maybe my database, I've fallen out of grace with my database. Maybe I will never get the result from my database that I was aiming for. Maybe the strategy I have in place was unrealistic. And we start to sabotage those thoughts, which is going to produce a feeling. And that might be anxious. It might be fear. Could be a little bit of anger. It could be whatever feeling, emotion, or energy that is created by the thought your brain has created about what is happening. That's the only way we can process things, is to create that thought. So if I have a feeling of fear or scarcity and I am picking up the phone and I'm calling my database, or I'm doing a client event, or I'm doing a pop by, or I'm doing whatever it is that I'm doing with the database, if I show up with that energy of fear, it's going to show up. And even my taking action, I'm sabotaging that action through a negative feeling, emotion, or energy. And I'm not going to get the results that I thought I would because of how I'm showing up, even though I'm doing the action. So I want you to understand how this can snowball. So let's say we do it for another week and we're holding on to that thought and that feeling, and we continue to take the action but don't get the results. Our brain starts to want to protect us and really reinforce that story or those thoughts and create those negative feelings because it wants to protect you from what is happening. And so if we don't catch it, this is going to happen week after week after week after month after quarter. And at the end of it all, we're going to get really frustrated and most likely stop, most likely not take the action when all we had to simply do was work backwards and address it starts with the thought. And that is probably one of the easiest things to change, but it's the one thing that we don't know we've got the power to change, because when you change the thought or the story that your brain is creating, it opens a floodgate of having a more positive feeling, a more positive emotion, a more positive energy, which then when we're taking the action shows up. And that action, because I'm in the right space and I'm taking the action, I will typically get better or more results. And that is where we tend to fail. And I really want you to understand this as we're moving into a new year and you're moving into new actions, that your brain is going to do its best to protect you and create these crazy stories or these crazy thoughts that are really holding you back. So if you are in this phase of you're doing what your business plan, the strategies you've outlined, the actions you've agreed to take, and you're doing it all and you're not getting the result that you thought you would get. Okay. So it's thoughts, feelings, actions, results. If I'm not getting the results that I want, I'm going to work this model backwards. So I'm going to first start and say, okay, did I take the actions? What are the actions that I took? Is it in alignment with what I said I was going to do? And if it is, or if it isn't, I'm going to want to question how I came into it. How did I show up regarding those actions? Because remember, if I do more with crummy feelings, energies, and emotion, I'm not going to get results. And if I just stop doing it and I let the crummy feelings, emotions, energy rule me, I'm not going to get results. So you really need to spend a moment in this action period and say, okay, what did I do? What didn't I do? And then move back up to the line before the feeling line and ask yourself, what is the feeling, the energy, and the emotion I'm having? And if I'm really honest with myself and just say, for example, I'm really fearful. I'm really afraid that the strategies that I created and was so confident were going to work aren't. And I'm feeling fearful or anxious about it. All right. So that is not an empowering feeling, and we want it to be. So we're going to take it back one more step to the thoughts and ask yourself the question, what is the thought I'm having right before I decide to take action? What is the thought that I'm having around this activity? So let's say it is doing Popeyes, or let's say it is doing something different with your database that you haven't done before, maybe calling them. And you are having a thought because you're not getting the results. The thought is created, right? Because that's the circumstance of not getting the result. That's the circumstance. Is the thought might be my strategy is not working, or my database doesn't really like me, or whatever that thought is. And you need to sit with that. And it may be multiple thoughts, maybe multiple negative thoughts that are creating the negative feeling, which are creating the negative impact on your actions, which are getting you the result, not getting you the results. So you may have multiple thoughts. This is where the magic can happen. You have to really sit with that. And this is what I would highly encourage you to do. Write on a piece of paper, TFAR. Stack it out. If you email me at tony@rethinkcoaching.com, I'll send this model to you. But I want you to write it out, and I really want you to sit with this. And if you're not getting the result you want, work it backwards like I've been talking through, but really sit with what are the thoughts that I'm having, the story that my brain is creating that's generating the negative feeling that I have. And, if it is as simple as, my strategy is not working, it was silly for me to even think it was going to, how stupid, I'm just going to go back to doing what I've been doing. My database doesn't love me, my database is dead, nobody's buying or selling. It could be a series of thoughts that you're having. There is a simple way for us to interrupt that thought and to question it and to turn it into a more positive or empowering thought. And it's asking yourself 4 very simple questions. Is the thought I'm having true? Does my database not like me? Is that thought true? In the moment, you might feel like it is true. It's like, well, heck yeah, they're not giving me referrals. Nobody's doing anything with me. I don't think they like me. So you may feel like that thought is true. So the next question you want to ask yourself, is it 100% true? Is that thought that nobody in my database likes me? Nobody in my database wants to do anything with me. Is that thought 100% true? And you might have to go back and look at some facts and go, well, that closing in December with Sue Smith was somebody from my database. And you might have to look at it and go, you know what? It is not 100% true. It's not. I've gotten business from my database consistently in the past. I'm just looking to do more. So that thought that my database doesn't love me or won't work with me is not true. It's not 100% true. This is a really important step. And you can't breeze over it, because when you understand that that thought is not 100% true, it's opening up the door to possibility for you. That's the importance of that question. So now the third thing I want you to sit with is, we've asked ourselves, is it true? And we most likely said it was. And what I want you to do is say, if I believe that that thought is true, if I continue to believe that negative thought, how does it impact me and how do I show up? And so if you think about that, I'm going to show up angry, scared. I'm going to show up with doubt and don't believe that anything is going to happen by the actions that I take. That's how you're going to show up if you continue to believe that false thought, because now we know it's not true because of that second question you ask yourself, is it 100% true? So now we know it's not true. So now I want you to ask yourself, now that I know that thought is not true, how could I show up? What could be different? Well, I gotten 3 referrals in Q4. So that's evidence that my database does like me. So I could show up as somebody with confidence that my database will support me and continue to support me in my business, and that what I'm doing is going to level it up. And it's just going to take a minute for it to get traction, but it will work. That's a huge change from nobody in my database will work with me, nobody loves me, to it's really possible. And they do like me, and they have referred to me, and they have come back for repeat business. And what I'm doing is just plussing my relationships. So yes, it's going to work. That is key to changing the thought, because that's your new thought. So now if we plug that into the model, remember thoughts, feelings, actions, results. Our old thought was negative. If we put in that positive thought that my database does like me, they do support me, they do send me business, they do repeat referral business with me. And what I'm doing is making it even better. Now I have that thought, what's the feeling I have? Because that's the next line. Well, the feeling I have is most likely going to be, I'm pretty excited and I need to get in front of more people in my database with my new approach, which changes my energy and my emotion. I've got a positive energy and I'm feeling really good emotionally about this. So now guess what? My thought has changed to empowering. My feeling has changed to positive and empowering. My actions that I take now are coming to fruition because I'm bringing that whole new me with me when I take action. And I promise you the results will be different. That is the power of this model. And I really want you to get it as we're moving into a new year, a new quarter, new activities, because your brain is going to have those thoughts. At the second it doesn't work the way you forecasted it to work, your brain's going to move into protect mode and craft some really crummy thoughts. It is just how the brain works. 80% of the thoughts we have throughout the day are negative. And when you're exposing your brain to a situation that's not getting you the result you want, it's going to lean into that negativity to protect you. And so this model will serve you really, really well as you move through the new quarter, start the new year, start doing new activities. Here's what I want to make sure we all understand. Something happens, circumstance, thoughts, feelings, actions, results. I don't have to wait until I don't get the result I want to enjoy the power of this model. So for example, as a business owner, I still have to lead generate. I own a coaching company. It's not that much different than what real estate agents do for lead generating for buyers or sellers. I'm lead generating constantly for clients to come and join us, to join our group program, to join our one-on-one. If I notice that my energy, my emotion, and my feeling is off, like I'm just not feeling this today, I feel really nervous about this, or I feel uncomfortable about it, I don't just ignore it and take action and wait to get to measure the result. I stop it immediately at the feeling. You don't have to wait until you run the full model through to go, oh, I better go change my thoughts. If I'm taking action, not getting results, I stop. I look at the feeling. If I'm feeling uneasy or I feel really crummy about it when I sit down to do my lead generation, I stop. I don't take the action until I clean up the thought, because if I don't and I take action, I'm sabotaging my results. It's just how it is. I might get lucky and get one or two people, but had I had the same conversation with the same people holding a different thought and a different feeling, I guarantee you the result would be different. So you don't have to wait until you get all the way to the end and go, oh, I'm not getting the results I want, so now I got to go all the way back to my thought. Catch it in the moment. And you're going to get really good at this, because once you're aware of how this model works, and you keep it in front of you at all times, you're going to catch it at thoughts. You're going to catch it at, what the heck was that thought that I'm having? And you're going to catch it immediately, versus allowing that thought to run and you robotically go into taking action because it's on your calendar and you sabotage your results. So pay attention to your thoughts. Thoughts drive all results. I say that all the time, and I want you to understand why I say that. Thoughts drive all results because thoughts impact feelings, actions, and generate the results that we get or don't get. So thoughts drive all results. Yes, you have to take action, but that's part of it. It's part of it. So it all, to me, when I have a client who is struggling and they're not getting the results that they want, I'm not the typical coach that's going to say, all right, instead of talking to 10 people a day, let's just double it or triple it. That's not who I am as a coach or who we are as a coaching company. We want to dig a little bit deeper and figure out what is that thought and feeling you're having, because until we change that, do more does not work, and do more will wear out in a day or two because you haven't cleaned the other stuff up. So if you are not getting the result you want, use the thought model. If you're having a negative thought, correct it. This is what we call our thought flow model. If I'm having a negative thought, don't wait until I get crummy results. Address the thought immediately. Is it true? Is it 100% true? When I believe it to be true, how do I show up? When I know that it is not true, how could I show up differently? And then what's your way forward? You go back to taking the action. It's really 4 simple questions. Is it true? 100% true? Who am I with the old thought? Who am I with the new thought? What's my way forward? Which is when you correct the thought, your way forward will show up: feelings, actions, and results. I have oversimplified this, yet this model can be the one thing that changes the trajectory of your success this year, this month, this week. We have approximately 60,000 thoughts a day. 80% are negative. If we do not become intentional about dictating and controlling and managing and massaging the thoughts that we're having, you have an 80% chance of having a negative thought. I want you to use this model to change your thoughts. This is the model that changed my trajectory and my success, was fixing this, because I'm a really good do more guy, because I'm an action taker. I'm a driver. Most real estate agents are drivers, meaning they're just going to go, 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 go. And that was me. But until I figured this other piece out, I was working way harder than I needed to. I was having to take way more action than I needed to. And that's what I love about this model if you choose to use it. You may run through this, change your thoughts, feelings, and take the exact same actions you were taking before you cleaned your thoughts and feelings up and get better results. You may not even have to do more. That's what I love about the power of this model. Most of my clients, we don't, when we're stuck, we look at thoughts and feelings and figure that piece out, reroute the thought, create the new thought process. And then we just go back to doing what we committed to do. And I will say 90% of the time, the results show up, and they didn't do any more. They didn't. Now, this is a cool thing. If you clean that stuff up and you're getting great results and you're in a good space, why not do more? You could actually get better or bigger results. But initially, I don't have them do more. I have clean up your thoughts and feelings around this. Let's go back to doing what we're doing. And I guarantee you, we're going to have better results. And we do. So circumstance is the top line, or something happens. You have a thought around that. Brain creates a story, right? That produces a feeling, an energy, or an emotion that generates actions that we take or don't take. And then that creates the results that we get, or the results we don't get. Powerful model. I'm always here for you. This is one that takes a minute to really, really embrace and not just go, okay, that's great, to really use on the daily, on the hourly. And it is how I start my day, is I sit with my thoughts, because I know my thoughts are going to drive my results. So part of my journaling exercise is to really get my thoughts in a pure, clean space. That's part of my meditation, my prayer. And it's also just writing it out and dispelling those negative thoughts that are showing up. Because as a human being, I do have 60,000 thoughts, 80% are negative. And it's where I choose to, what lane I choose to stay in, positive or negative, that is going to drive my results. So that is a part of this process as well. Doing this early in the morning for me minimalizes the negative feelings, emotions, and energy because I've already cleaned the thoughts up. I've already dealt with the negative thoughts about what's going on for the day. And it allows me to show up in a more powerful way. If you have any questions, reach out to me, Tony at rethinkcoaching.com. You can find me on all social media outlets. I'm pretty easy to find. If you Google me, you'll find my cell phone. You can always call. If you want to book a call, the easiest thing to do is go to rethinkcoaching.com. And there is a box that will pop up for you to register your information for a free 1-hour strategy call. Free 1-hour strategy call. All you have to do is fill it out. And if it's around this or around something else that you're struggling with, I will help you. That is my goal, is to help as many people as I can to get the results that they desire, the life that they want to have, the business that they want to own. So if you're struggling with this and you say, I really need some help on this thought flow model at a higher level, just reach out and schedule a call. Tell me the purpose of the call and I will show up prepared for it. It's that easy. You just have to raise your hand. But I do promise you this. You start working this model on the daily, on the hourly, in everything that you do, whether it's business or life, and your results are going to change. It is the most powerful model that I've ever been introduced to. And it will be, if you choose to embrace it, the one thing that changes your success and ultimately your joy out of your business and your life. I appreciate you being here, and we will talk to you next week. Happy week. Go crush it and make it a great one. Talk to you soon. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you must come check out the Mindset Architect Group Coaching Program. It's our monthly program where we explore the power of your mindset, help you identify what you truly want in business and life, and then help you reach those goals. Come check us out at rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. That's rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. We'll see you there.